What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen that title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. You have Ilhan Omar says Charlie Kirk's legacy should be thrown in the dustbin of history. Literally says, I'm not honoring any legacy this man has left. Should be in the dustbin of history, and we should all move on and forget the hate he spews. Let me tell y'all something. This is something that is very disgusting. Not only that, this is something that was said the day of his funeral. One thing about it, Ilhan Omar has a lot. And I feel like ever since she said a lot of things, obviously has frightened her. But ever since she said that, things have not been looking well for her. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. But she literally got on CNN with yours truly, Caitlin Collins. Check it out.
Find jarring is that there are so many people willing to excuse the most reprehensible things that he said, that they agree with that they're willing to have monuments for him, that they want to create a day to honor him, and that they want to produce resolutions in the House of Congress honoring his life and legacy. It is one thing to care about his life, because obviously so many people loved him, including his children and wife. But I am not going to sit here and be judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
Do you think your colleagues who voted your Democrat
said the hate that he spewed every single? That's crazy to me. It's definitely crazy to me, just for the simple fact that, again, I know y'all seen. If y'all haven't seen the View video, make sure y'all check that out. But you have so many people that are, bashing his name. Not only that, can't even, lay this man down to rest before, people get to talking crazy. I'm bashing his name, saying this, saying that, and I feel like that's one of the most disrespectful. And she's the last person to say something like this. That his legacy should be thrown in the dustbin of history. One thing about it is, this is from Nathan Brand. Says this is what Ilhan Omar called the dustbin of history. As y'all know, and I didn't know this. I didn't know this whatsoever. Somebody had left a comment yesterday. I'm not sure who it was. If it was you, I appreciate you. But I guess it was 2 other buildings that were filled with people. I want to say close to almost 500,000 people in one area. Well, not everybody that couldn't make it, inside, but there were other buildings, that people were at outside, everywhere. And I find it completely insane. And I don't know if that's the right number. I know I've seen some people say 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. So, but I know it was over 300,000 people. But one thing about it is that you have so many people, and not even just in that area, in Glendale, Arizona, but you have people all around the world. I've seen people in New Zealand. I've seen people that, in the UK. I've seen people in Korea. I've seen so many people everywhere that has been, wearing Charlie Kirk, shirt, a face of Charlie Kirk, holding up, signs and stuff like that. And it just goes to show you on how big, Charlie Kirk, is. I can't even say was, because to this day, even though, Charlie is, sadly, that he is gone, he's really not, though. His message is not. There are multiple videos, that are out. I actually seen one today, of Charlie Kirk speaking, and, I definitely want to say that when it comes down to it, Charlie definitely put a positive impact on a lot of people. It's just people that are literally just disrespecting, not only Charlie, but Charlie Kirk's, his wife, his kids, his family. And I'm not with that. I'm not with that. And I'm going to call it out. I'm telling y'all, I'm going to call it out. This is a post by Terrence K. Williams. Says, you are being put on notice, Republicans. If you don't go after Ilhan Omar, then don't come asking us for our money or our votes when you need help. Ilhan Omar spent the weekend mocking and celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. calling him un-American. This is the same one who downplayed 9/11 by saying some people did something. She even married her own brother to commit immigration fraud, which I talked about, which is, 10 years, that she has to serve for even doing that. So I honestly don't even see how there's nothing more, even though, people are, oh, she's going to get removed from Congress. She's getting removed from Congress. She's going to do, this, that, and other. It needs to be more, when it comes to fines, when it comes to a lot of things that I have to show y'all, within a lot. And most of all, getting her back to Somalia. Says here, she has disgraced Congress, disgraced her oath, disgraced the nation. She shouldn't even be in this country, let alone making laws for Americans. Exactly. If Republicans can't find the courage to hold her accountable, then why should we trust them to fight for us? One thing about it is that I completely agree, just as well as multiple people, under the comments of Terrence Williams' post. I'm telling y'all, definitely. But this is what I was talking about. This is Ilhan Omar on the verge of tears saying that she can't be deported because she's an American citizen. So there's a lot of talk that this will be happening. And starts crying on MSNBC. Check it out.
For me, is I feel embarrassed for him because in these attacks, what he does, and I think with the likes of Nancy Mace, and whoever that Randy guy is, they expose themselves for how stupid they are. And that is embarrassing for us as a country because these are people who are elected to positions of leadership. He's supposed to be the president of the United States, who's heading off to Europe to represent us. When he does, he's uneducated enough to understand that members of Congress can't be impeached. When you have Nancy and Randy saying, we're on it, we're going to impeach her. When they're saying they're going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen. What that displays for not
okay,
just...
that's one thing. That's one thing if she didn't do what she did. If she didn't do, you have this immigration fraud and other things that I will be showing y'all too. That's one thing. She's literally right now she's scared. She's scared because they know they about to make it happen.
Americans, but folks on an international
she knows they about to make it happen.
Platform is that our country is being led by idiots. And that is not something that we should be comfortable with as Americans. And that's not something that should make us proud. And so in this moment, I feel great sadness as an American that these are the kind of people that the world gets to see representing us.
I don't mean to be the R word. I don't mean to be, any type of, negative talking bad on nobody, but she's no American. And it's not even about, I'm about to bash you and just because you look different or what you wear. She's not American because of what she has done. She done married her brother. Let's start there. She went from from what I want to say 30-something thousand to what, or not 30-something thousand. It was more. It was a little bit more than that. I say about 50K, 60K, all the way to 30 million in what 3-4 years. So I find it completely insane. There's multiple things. I don't find her as, being American, on the things that she says, her bashing, let's forget about how she looks, where she's from. It's other things that obviously doesn't make her American. And I don't like that. I truly don't. Truly don't. Says here, it has been reported that Somali Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's net worth surged at least 3,500 in 1 year to nearly 30 million. 30 million. Said it's more than enough to live in Somalia, expelled from Congress, and deport. And I'm truly I truly agree. I don't blame him for saying this. Ilhan Omar's personal fortune exploded to upwards 30 million in 2024. The Minnesota Democrat disclosed just months after telling press it is ridiculous, to say she is worth millions of dollars. Says here that Omar reported in her latest financial disclosure that she and her husband, former politician Tim Minnitt, if I said that wrong, I apologize. This is actually my first time even knowing who this is of, her husband, supposedly, because, again, she married her brother. Accumulated net worth of, at the end of 2024, ranged from at least $6 million to $30 million. I'm telling y'all, it's absolutely insane. When I say it's absolutely insane, absolutely insane. Listen here from her.
I'm going to try and get this in under...
Yeah, y'all can follow her on TikTok, Grumpy MAGA.
I'm going to try and get this in under a minute. Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is the Somali refugee. The reason why she was a refugee from her country is because while she was in her country, it was her family that was the ruling family. And they were so brutal that the Somali people rose up and threw them out of power. And that's how she ended up a refugee from her country. Okay, so then the government in the United States groups all these thousands and thousands and thousands of Somalis in one place over in, in Minnesota. Okay. She is elected their representative, right? We're not going to talk about all her irregularities, which are like crazy, marrying her brother. Okay, but when she goes to Congress, she's $40,000 in debt, but now she is worth $30 million. Corruption from the beginning, corruption to the end. Corruption is who she is.
Exactly. Corruption. So, y'all know I did a little digging. I have found this video. And I found it odd. I truly found it odd of the things that Jesse Waters was saying. And I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't see this. But when it comes down to it, and I'm going to look more into it, y'all. I'm going to look more into it. But a lot has to do with Tim Walz and, Ilhan Omar. I'm telling y'all right now. A lot of it is odd. Check it out.
We've known Tim Walz for less than a week, and we've already found out he let rioters burn down cities, lied about his military service, crushed small businesses, and turned Minnesota into a child sex change sanctuary. But that's not it. Tonight, we're dropping another Walz bombshell. As governor, Walz let a gang of politically connected Somali fraudsters steal $250 million of your money. It was the single biggest COVID scam in American history. During the pandemic, the government was giving out money left and right. A nonprofit in Minnesota, Feeding Our Future, got $250 million to send food to needy kids. Sounds good, right? Here's the problem. Almost none of it was used for food. The Somali scammers blew our cash on real estate, cars, extravagant get trips. We have wire transfers that show thousands going to car dealerships. $160,000 went to some company in China. And $500,000 was sent to Kenya to buy an apartment. A $500,000 apartment in Kenya is probably a palace. But our tax dollars weren't just used on goodies. The politicians got a taste too. Ilhan Omar got thousands of dollars in donations from some of the scammers. These guys weren't criminal masterminds. It was sloppy. When they cooked the books, they made up names of their fake clients. They came up with these names. Are you ready? Unique Problem. Friday Donations. How'd nobody catch that? Well, early on, Walz's administration thought it looked a little suspicious, so they froze the funds. Then the Somalis sued and called Walz racist, so he kept letting them steal. They didn't bother to crack into the bank account.
Mind y'all, $250 million. $250 million.
Or issue subpoenas. Walz just put his hands in the air and said, I'm not racist. Take whatever you want. Minnesota has a huge Somali population. You can't get called racist and expect to win another election there. Walz even gave one of the fraudsters the Minnesota Outstanding Refugee Award. 3 years later, she was indicted. No thanks to Walz, the feds came in after he ignored the problem for years. During the trial, the Somalis tracked down a juror and dropped off a Hallmark bag on their doorstep, filled with 120 G's, and a little note saying there's more to come if she acquits. This all happened under Walz's nose. He had every chance to stop it and failed. Just like he failed to protect his city during the riots, and just like he failed his unit when he retired before deployment.
So you literally have these Somalians that's in Minnesota. I don't know if y'all remember a video. I had put out a video not too long ago, and it showed a meeting, of Ilhan Omar with others, other Somalians. And they literally said in that meeting that basically we need, her in Congress. We need this information. We need this. We need that. So if y'all have all this money and they're dealing with all this money under Tim Walz and they're doing this and doing that, I mean, it's all speaking for itself. It's all speaking for itself. I don't think that Ilhan Omar is definitely that top person, but she's definitely a top person, if y'all know what I mean, when it comes down to it. And that's how I feel. Like I find a lot of this very odd, bro. I find a lot of it odd. I'm telling y'all, especially when it comes down to Tim Walz. There's a post, Donald Trump, does Ilhan Omar knows these people? Are they from her wonderful managed home country of Somalia? It says breaking 8 charge and massive Medicaid fraud scheme, which resulted in $8.4 million in stolen Medicaid billings in Minnesota. And it literally has all the individuals. When it comes down to it, like I said, bro, this is things that's very, very odd to me when it comes down to it. What's going down in Minnesota. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do a little bit more digging. Stay tuned because I am going to be doing, I'm going to try my best, but I definitely feel like, it's some odd stuff going on. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe. I definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.